I heard about Elijah. I'm sorry. I guess now everyone should know that there are consequences to forcefully entering a laboratory with restricted access. Also, you were very careless not to put the supply room key back in its proper place. You may think I'm being too strict, but I can't help it. I'm not saying anything false. We should set up a time for when keys must be returned to prevent people like you from causing this again. I wore this to prevent chemicals from splashing on my body. Don't worry, I'm just a little tired. No need to show concern. I'll go prepare for the upcoming experiment. Wounds have a way of revealing themselves, even for those who wish to keep them concealed. For Gabriel, it was the change in his clothes. Maybe it was easier on his mind to conclude that Elijah's death was caused by a violation of the rules. He tried harder to stick to his principles. He tried to maintain his objectivity. But perhaps his excessive rationality is what destroyed him. His earnest hope to not see anyone else die couldn't reach me. No, there is no point in lying anymore. I pretended that I didn't hear his desperate cry. There's no need to ask if I'm doing alright. I heard about what you and I did yesterday. I felt like it was the first time I lost myself. It was not quite pleasant, but it was not as terrible as I expected it to be, either. Rather, I feel relieved. Not to say that all the hatred that surrounds me is completely washed away. I'll still see that rotting hallucination, and sometimes I'll feel disgusted and have an unbearable anger towards you. However, if there is one aspect that has changed, it's that I can be in as much despair as I want that to now. Someday, a hope will painfully grow out of the rotten wound. What you gave to us was a seed of hope. It seems that you're also on the way to embracing your painful past. It's always the beginning that's difficult. And Yesod can finally admit that he cares about his employees and doesn't want to see them die, instead of just trying to hide behind rules and objectivity and stuff like that. What a wholesome 100 tsundere man he is. And your outfit still isn't up to the company standard. What the heck, Yesod? I just called you wholesome 100. I suppose I should seriously consider having penalty points apply even to the manager. We've earned the rationality to maintain discretion, and we're at 30% germination of the seed of light. Are you hoping to turn back time for the things you've longed for? After all this, even if you turn back up the clock, do you really think your regrets can be so easily washed away as if nothing happened? Oh, to work an experiment with my favorite junior, I feel unstoppable, like a tiger given wings. Don't be so humble. You could have gone to any wing you wanted. But you still chose to come here. Is it because of your trust in me? Just you wait. I'll make sure you won't regret your decision. Look at this. Everyone's subconscious leads straight to death. Everyone is forcefully locking away their own latent potential. And here, this is the treatment I've told you about. The treatment for the soul. Trust me, we've made a worthy first step. People will gather around us soon enough. I sincerely welcome you to this place. You've done it yet again. Lady Angela must have showered you with praise for your work, right? Your efforts will contribute to shaping this place into something better. Such glorious yet boring platitudes. I myself had a burning passion in the past, being responsible for a whole department. How charming is that? I hadn't even acquired a taste for coffee back then. Should I say I developed that taste after learning the bitterness of life? Or rather, I didn't feel like sleeping anymore. Of course, none of the Sephiroth needed to sleep at all, but it's for the mood, you know? One time, I even insisted on managing the abnormalities myself. I thought that only allowing employees in the field was plain ridiculous. Seems pretty absurd to look back on it now. You must be asking yourself, why have I become like this? Your guess is as good as mine. Lady Angela, please have a look at this. I spent the whole night researching an efficient method to improve the welfare of our employees. Chesed, what did you write up this time? I told you this will change nothing. But please, just look it over. This does have a statistically proven impact, and even costs less. This will be beneficial for everyone. Listen, Chesed, no matter how strongly you insist, using machines in place of human employees will never happen. And why is that? I've explained it to you before. It wouldn't replace humans entirely, simply those who take place in dangerous jobs. It's clear that it will benefit everyone. The casualties caused by abnormalities will be lowered too. How many times do I have to repeat myself? No, the first time. And no, yet again. Please return to your post and finish your work. I'll never give up on this. I swear to you that you will like the plan in the end. I'll keep developing and furthering it, and I'll continue to show you again and again, no matter how many times I may have to. Chesed, regarding that incident where the escaped abnormality wiped out all of your team, a few of our employees have made the suggestion to temporarily close down that part of the corridor. There are body parts that still have yet to be disposed of. Alright, I'll order it to be blocked, and have them take detours. Manager, you heard what she said, right? I need to get going. Told you I'm busy. Be best not to say anything. Hey now, don't give me a look like that. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Surely that abnormality had knocked them out before disintegrating them. Yeah, I'm sure it was a painless death. And yet again, just another time limit. Chesed is not a creative man. With Yesod's core suppression complete, we get a 25% increase in PE boxes from abnormalities. So instead of getting 4, we get 5. And also Yesod no longer has meltdowns, so it doesn't really matter because none of his stuff was super annoying to work with. Yesod's kind of one of the weaker benefits from core suppression. It helps, but mostly just for grinding high level gear. We don't really have any lefts right now anyway, but I mean, we'll definitely will have some by the end of the playthrough. It'll help. I mean, I want some. I honestly kind of wish I had an left by this point. But we don't, so such is life. And we also are taking the SP bullets from Chesed. And what do you know? No one died. Still wasn't entirely sure. Welcome back to Lobotomy Corp. We've got one more Asaya core suppression to go, so I will go do that now. I have to go shuffle everyone around again. This is typical for the operation. Although Alex might actually work with Scarecrow, but it's probably not worth it because we're not doing training today. I also have to have him stay in info so I can at least work with, like, Porcubus or something. Bong Bong has really good stats. Except for Temperance, I can go here. Oh, wait, no, here, because Big Bird, yeah. Rain's like all capped, you can just go wherever. That should be good enough. Okay, due day now. A giant Tree Sap is an HE level single-use tool. Using the tool will heal the agent by a lot of HP. And continuously heal them for a few seconds afterwards. However, it also has a chance of killing them and having them instantly die after a short delay after they use it. This chance starts at 0% for the first time it's worked in a day, and then it increases by 15% each successive time it's worked, up to a maximum of 60%. The chance also resets when somebody explodes due to it. Overall, while it can help you work with a red or pale damage abnormality that you wouldn't be able to without it, as long as you keep sacrificing people, it's expensive on your lob to hire a bunch of agents just to have them die immediately. And also I don't like having agents die anyway, and also it's not very good because it's like one and only source of use, because you can just heal by sitting still in the main rooms. Yeah, it's just a really bad tool. And we're kind of stuck with it. Oh well. So now it's time for Nedsar's core suppression. Yesterday we did the second easiest Yesods. This is the easiest core suppression in the game, in my opinion. Like, to the point where I don't really understand people have trouble with it. And, I mean, surely there's gotta be someone, historically. Note that Bong Bong is weak to black and I'm having him work with Big Bird. This is just me being an idiot. I didn't notice this until, like, the day was almost over. Right now I'm ordering just a couple works to try to get an idea of how many works are in a meltdown level at this point in the game, because it's hard for me to count it out. Also Among Us, I'm still trying to get the mask for him. might be a doomed cause. He's almost gotten to Justice 5 from just a test. Doing something works with it. But I'm determined to get him to wear that Shiloh mask. I'm trying to count out how many boxes that fill the bar, and order works accordingly. As Ned Sachs, even though it's the easiest in the game, it gets even easier if you just do it one meltdown level at a time, for reasons. We want to not increase our reset counter any further. New Mexican without Spider Bud's gift, so she's the one working with Spider Bud. I mean, it's not really a great gift, but I mean, it's better than nothing. Bong Bong needs a temperance turning, and that's why they're working with Big Bird, even though they're weak to it, which I still haven't noticed by this point in gameplay time. Sometimes I just forget about what the suits do. I don't really pay attention to it when I'm actually playing very much either. That's one of the reasons why I had that one day where I had to reset like 3 times because I had today's Shylock kill B. When you're ordering a bunch of works like this, Punishing Bird is very likely to escape, especially if it's not one of the things being worked on. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to keep it worked on, but Bajong's been slow, so its QC decreased by a lot because it wasn't being worked on when so many works started. Ned Sachs gimmick. Now that we've progressed one meltdown level, I might as well say it. You can't heal at all. The only healing happens at the end of each meltdown level, in which everyone's health is fully and SP are fully restored. This actually makes the day even easier to speed through than normal meltdowns are in Chesed. And normal meltdowns are not very easy to speed through. This one's actually really easy to speed through. In fact, I think it's the best strategy for playing it in general, is to just speed through it as fast as possible. It's only dangerous, I guess, if you only had like 2 or 3 good agents who could do like the work with the dangerous stuff, but even then you could just send people to work on the tests from earlier in the game and you could still probably be fine. I don't really understand. If it made you do dusk, it'd be pretty hard too, I guess, but it doesn't. You can't even do dusk, no, even if you got the earliest possible dusk. It just ends too early. But I don't mind having an easy meltdown. It's especially nice because this one can only be unlocked after you do HODs, and HODs is really tough for the point of the game it comes in. Although it could have been way tougher for us. There are a couple of LFs that are gated beyond having a stat of 5, and a couple of stats to work on them without a QC drop. We don't have them. We don't have any LFs at all. If we had them, since we don't have the tool that counteracts HOD's meltdown, it would have been extremely dangerous. But we never had to worry about that just because of the way the rolls went. They never even have shown up yet. We can unlock most of the information for Big Bird and Snow White's Apple just from all our works earlier, which is nice. We should be able to finish up their gear tomorrow, even though we'll still be speeding through. Ultimately, it just delayed having them finished. The Chesed missions, it didn't prevent us from having it finished before the next department opened. I wasn't sure when we'd get them done. I don't really remember how it went for my last group of Chesed abnormalities. I did have a pretty complicated one in my first run though. That was kind of annoying having to do it in under speed run time. It's shown up in the rolls too, it just didn't get picked. By RNG, man. We could probably ignore Amber Dawn. I just don't want Big Bird to get let out. Because if Big Bird gets out, Punishing Bird is extremely likely to be out. And if 2 of the birds are out at the same time, this special bird event starts. And I do not want the bird event to start unless I'm prepared for the bird event. Also, it'd be really bad to do it during this meltdown because we would like to be able to heal for it. Bird event will have its time to shine. Just not right now. We've also finished the set of Oz abnormalities. It's only the Scarecrow and the Woodsman. I think I might have said that in the past, just to double sure though. Those are the only 2 in this game. There are more in the webcomic, but they did not exist at this point in time. Remember when Amber Dawn used to be hard? I do. All the Dawns are just too easy to stat out of, to be a threat past like the early days. I teach's gun is really good with dealing with them though. I'm like, man, Pop-Punk's missing a lot of build. I wonder why that is. Didn't really consider that there might be weak to a Big Bird. I'm not the most observant person in the world. It's like 50% of my commentators be making fun of me not noticing that, I gotta say. The song that's about to start is one of my favorite meltdown songs in the game, by the way. Here we are. Lab? And I'm not gonna say that. You'll never know what I was going to say unless you are well versed in dumb references. Realistically, if any part of the day is going to give you trouble, it's right now. We have a lot of meltdowns going on, and we still can't heal. Remember that meltdowns don't progress the meltdown timer, so you're doing, essentially you're just doing extra works without being able to heal. Again, it's not really going to be an issue, but it could be, I guess, if I was not good at the game. And by good at the game, I mean if I didn't have really good agents. Arcura's not really great, but Big Bird and Snowy's Apple should fix that a little. We're kind of lacking a lot of wall equipment. Hopefully, Disciplinary fills up with mostly walls and lefts, because we are a bit behind on where I want to be in equipment. Although we were at this point in my first playthrough too, because I was doing the same thing with random rolls, so it probably won't be too big of a deal, considering I didn't have too many issues at the end. Mr. Black, even though he's a captain, is still wearing Teth armor, but I just really like how that one looks on him. It's just so fitting. I'll probably change it eventually to something better. Eric's also got Teth armor on, but to be fair, we are a bit lacking in terms of gear. I do blame the fetus for that a little bit. Fetus and like Pode and all other stuff that showed up. I wish I had something a bit like further, more gear or better gear. Also, that was a weird sentence, whatever. You know what I meant. Goom can solo a Scarecrow pretty easily. Even without healing, he'll be fine. The shield bullets also make this meltdown not really matter that much, because even if you were fighting something extremely dangerous right now, like the green noon, you could just apply red shields. We don't have to worry about shields at all though, because there's just nothing dangerous enough that spawned in. The noon chose to spawn after everything was over. This is the reason I was having no one work with Tree Sap, by the way, just to handle its meltdown safely. If you were paying attention to the last meltdown level, you might have noticed that we only had a 4 even though the number said 5. That's because one of the 5 that rolled was backward clock. And it doesn't re-roll if something that can't melt down is rolled, it just ignores it completely. Which makes things like backward clock very convenient, even though there's not very many of them in the game, and backward clock is like the only one I describe as good. The rest of them are just bad abnormalities, so that has an additional with that feature as like one selling point. Backwards clock's main selling point, on the other hand, is something we'll see much later in the game. Suffice to say, it is my main concern when rolling tools that I wanted it. Now we have all of Apple's information. We have an 8% higher chance to succeed at it than we did formerly, so it shouldn't be as much of an issue worrying about it breaking out. It was right here that I noticed Bong Bong was wearing black Weak armor this entire time. I am smart. Again, it functionally ended up not mattering. And this just goes to show how much of a non-issue Nutsex is. If someone wearing armor weak to the abnormality they were doing, that was the highest threat level abnormality we had in the facility. Well, tied for it. could work on it fine. Like, the only thing that we can't do is work Judgment Bird too frequently, even with Goom, but like, you don't need to work on it more than twice a meltdown level anyway, you just speed through. Realistically, we don't even need to work on it at all because we have all its gear. Only if it melts down we need to work on it. And Goom could function with just... Goom can always catch it on a meltdown just because he can hit it. He could tank all of its boxes missing. And with that work, the meltdown is over. And we did it on our first try. And there we go, another suppression down. And once again, not really too much in the way of growth, so Spirals at level 5 Justice, which is nice. And so is B. Justice, I kind of slurred that a bit. And Bong Bong Max Temperance, which is to be expected. I had them in a black week suit and did not notice they were even getting more efficient training, although probably not the smartest on a thing you can't heal, it doesn't really matter, as you saw. Anyway, new abnormality? No, because this is the last day of Chesed. Except yes, because we could start opening Gibberas, so yes, there will be one new one. That's my prediction. Am I right? I am right. Cool. I know how the game works. But this one will not show up until day 31, even though I'm picking it for day 30. Because I'm gonna continue Chesed. D101-105 tells us that is the moon that bewitches man, yet in reality it is man that despairs of the moon. D01-110 is to our Wa's. They've seen this one a lot. FO249, with my infinite hatred I give you this gift. That is an HE. So Wa He. I want the first option here the most. The second one's just not really that good. Although it's less actively bad for us than it was before because we don't have to worry as much about its unique breaching procedures. And then the HE is just outscaled. Oh, we rolled a 1. Yay! And now it is time for Cherry Tree lore. A tree that stands in the middle of its containment unit. It never withers, even if it is not given any form of nutrition. Some employees take time to rest near this tree. Employees sometimes enter its containment unit for leisure. Did you see that new abnormality? I think you're in charge of it. Yeah, I saw it. It's just a tree with some buds along the branches. I don't think they're gonna blossom without sunlight. Did you start the observation yet? Nah, I think I'll get to it now. Okay, take care. Hey, Xavier, did you see that new abnormality? I think I got put in charge of it. Yeah, I saw it alright. Just some tree with buds along their branches. I don't think they'll be able to blossom without sunlight. Did you start making observations and writing reports yet? Nah, I think I'll get to it soon enough, though. Alrighty, take care. Hey, long time no see. How's it going lately? Yo, get this. You know the abnormality we talked about before? I don't think it's hostile. And guess what? It started blooming. It was so surreal looking at them. I felt like spring had come for the first time in this place. Is that okay? Usually any sort of change is a bad omen for something catastrophic here. Don't worry, it's just some harmless little flowers. Thanks for worrying about me, though. Bonjour again. How's work going for you? Golly, the flowers just keep blooming. I think it'll fill up the whole unit at this rate. You should see it for yourself. It's really beautiful. I don't think I'll ever get sick of looking at it. I'd love to, man, but I can't. I've been so busy lately. Really? Dang, what a shame. It's absolutely magnificent, I'm telling you. You doing alright, by the way? You've been making a lot of mistakes these days. It seems like you've been spacing out a ton, too. Don't worry, it's nothing. I gotta head back now. Oh, I've been making a sketch of the tree, actually. I'll let you be the first person to see it when I'm done. Yeah, I've been better recently. I've got better at managing abnormalities, too. Going to Grave of Cherry Blossom's chamber makes me feel weirdly amazing, like you said. I never believed that mumbo-jumbo about Flora getting out of good aura or whatever. But I guess it was true. It's such a shame I can't see those cherry blossoms with Xavier. I got to see his work-in-progress sketch when I was rummaging through his stuff one time. The actual tree was much more beautiful. It was more magnificent than everything he described it as. It's such a tragedy they went missing before seeing how it is now. If you find any abnormalities suspicious, please make sure you look into them, alright? Yeah, I'm fine now. I shook off that feeling. The cherry blossoms all fell after I saw it that time. Yet, I saw buds poking out of its branches again. Would it be alright if I oversaw the abnormality from now on? No, it's no big deal. I just want to see those flowers in full bloom ahead. Again, yes, thank you. We've received reports about an alarming increase in the numbers of employees who want to view Grave of Cherry Blossom's containment. This fervent rush of requests is likely due to the absence of natural scenery in our facility. However, I don't think there is any need to make a rule against it. We found that our staff's mental contamination indices decreased when looking at Grave of Cherry Blossoms. The reason behind this is unimportant. It could be flora giving out a good aura for all anyone cares. The only thing that's certain is that Grave of Cherry Blossoms captivates our employees, and that they don't know what lies beneath its roots. Did you know that the cherry blossoms are strikingly crimson, and its unmatched beauty is caused by its color? The more blood it has, the more beautiful it is. Our employees who are oblivious to it are drawn to it again and again. Just keep everything hush hush for now. It's how things work in this place. What a beautiful story. No one is actually safe here. You know the safety team is just for show, right? Why do you want to continue prolonging these undesired lives? What do you expect to see at the end of all of this? The moment I woke up again here, I met you. You, who I'm never going to see ever again. Why must I wake up and do all the garbage I hate every single day? You weren't the person I put my trust in. This place will never be safe, you know. Abandon your sense of guilt, everyone. They couldn't be saved anyways. 'Cause this place is always horrible, the only thing I can hope for is a blissful end. I never wanted to be in this position anyway. I never asked for this, not once. In the end, the hope that anyone will live on thanks to me is gone. Just leave me alone, it's what you're best at. All I want to do is close my eyes and enjoy a good nap, just once. I stop breathing, but if life calls out to me yet again,